Thank you, Dream Duck, an associate commentator. It's always nice to bring an apprentice in, you know what I mean? It's good, it's good. All right then, guys, we're back for the first semi-finals here for the University Star League. We've got 2 players that have made it to the top 4, and we're 1 game away. And I'm going to butcher both your names.
GöranPersson.
Huh?
GöranPersson.
GöranPersson. I would have said that exactly the same. We'll talk to you first. So you're here in the top 4. Yep. First of all, did you expect to be here?
I expected to lose the first match, but hey, I'm here.
The first match in the whole tournament?
Yeah. No. The first match in the round of 16.
Oh, okay. So you were literally just turning up for beer?
Yeah.
And this whole StarCraft thing is holding you back?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know. You're playing Terran, and you're going up against another Terran. Is this a matchup you're particularly comfortable with?
I think it's my best matchup of all the 3 ones.
Ooh. And you're both from the university here, KTH?
I'm going to KTH in Kista. It's a bit north of here.
So that doesn't really count.
No. You can say that.
You don't have the home crowd. But are you feeling good? You're not too nervous? Yeah? You're ready to go?
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, okay. And all right, well, best of luck to you.
Thanks.
We'll hand it over. And our second contestant in the semi-finals, you've yet to drop a map so far, and your nickname, ecTheovide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well remembered.
Thank you, thank you. I read notes backstage, but they were a little bit blurry, actually. I'm not sure why. So, yet to drop a map?
Yes.
Why is this? I mean, is it just your opponents, or are you just that good?
Combination, maybe.
And what do you think of your opponent here? Because, no offense, I spoke to him a little bit earlier off stage, and, you know, what are you studying?
Energy and environment.
Yeah, he said that wasn't a real degree.
That's his opinion.
Oh, and there we go. So, yeah, so what do you think of the matchup, TvT?
It's a fun matchup. I didn't really practice it because, like GöranPersson said himself, I didn't expect him to go through. I thought I was going to play Spexilla here, so I practiced TvP with my friend last night. And, well, but it's going to be fun. We'll see what happens.
And you're feeling fine for the match? You know, it's a great stage. You've got a great audience. You're live to people. Does that affect you, or you good?
Well, it might affect me. We'll see.
Okay. All right then, guys. Well, we'll let you get into it. It's going to be a best of 5. I wish you the most of luck. And the winner, of course, will be moving on to the finals. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for our first semi-finalists and get them into the booth. So then, a spot in the Grand Finals is up for play in the best of 5. Of course, ladies, you seem confident, but we are now going to do some map selection. And I'm going to get with the program. So I think I'm meant to shut up now. As the nice lady shows the iPad.
Yeah, and back to the casters with that. Thank you very much, Too Good. We should probably brief them a little, right?
Yeah, well, you know, Too Good's a bit of on the fly. That's
Yeah.
the kind of guy he is.
The kind of guy is this, and it's very good on the fly part. Yeah, so we're into the map selection, and I don't know, let's start off here. How much do you know of the players so far? You've been watching the tournament a little something today.
Yes, I watched the Terran versus Terran that Theo played a little bit earlier.
Yeah, what did you think about it?
It was a good little Terran versus Terran.
Yeah.
I'm quite excited for this one as well.
Yeah. Mr. Bad Example talked a little earlier about these two's, the styles they were playing and so forth. And I think ecTheovide was a little more, was he Thorstein influenced? Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think about that? Is he?
No, it was really good. I
does?
definitely saw it shine out in his play, and we'll have to see if he can manage it in the semi-finals here, because now is where the pressure really kicks in, right? He's in the semi-finals, 1 win, and he makes it to the finals.
Yeah, that's really nice, actually. GöranPersson, did you watch him play any at all?
I did.
Yeah. You did. You don't sound impressed.
I did, because he was the only guy, which I think used his real name instead of ID. Is it his real name?
No. Actually, the fun part is, his name is, I think it's Omar Olivares. So the point is, it's not at all Swedish, but he shows the name of the Swedish previous prime minister. Why? Nobody knows. And every time you ask him the question, he says, that should be obvious.
Yeah, well, I was always thinking about my name being Tony Blair.
Yeah,
but
exactly. But yeah, then
I took Apollo instead.
You took Apollo instead. Sounds good. So, GöranPersson, yeah, you watched him play.
Yes.
What did you think about it?
Pretty decent. I think there was a couple of errors in his play, but that's granted because it is like, a lot of these players' first time on stage, so that's kind of granted. But you know, it was a decent little player.
It was a decent little player, and as I stated, these are all university students from Stockholm, and almost all of these players are KTH players, and basically almost all of the Masters people that sign up for this, since it's the first round of this tournament, didn't have the publicity to get all the players we wanted, of course. So almost all of the Masters that signed up got to the finals. ecTheovide, we talked a little something about that, a little Thorsane-esque type of play. What do you expect from him?
I'm expecting a pretty solid game from him. He looked really good in the TvT before to close it up 2-0, so I'm expecting the same again if he wants to go to the finals, which I believe he can. But his opponent, his favourite unit was Siege Tanks. Yeah. We haven't actually seen him play a Terran vs. Terran here today or yesterday. No. So I'm interested to see if he will bring mech and whether he's going to be able to challenge ecTheovide here. Yeah,
I'm very interested to see that as well. Now, GöranPersson has been talking about that he doesn't actually play that much. He plays Dota 2 most of the time, and stated that he plays 4 games or something a week.
Of StarCraft.
Of StarCraft, which is not where you want to be in this position, really.
Especially against a player that hasn't dropped the map.
No, exactly. Especially against a player that hasn't dropped the map. And I've been watching ecTheovide all throughout the tournament, and ecTheovide's looking very strong. GöranPersson we haven't seen too much of, but we haven't seen him. We've had a bunch of show matches, and during the show matches, ecTheovide's been playing, and he's been ripping people apart, actually, basically.
Let's see if he rips this guy apart, man.
Let's
see if he rips this guy apart.
I think that with the size, the height advantage, he should be able to do that, like toss him some way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see if the ripping. I'm thinking that, well, my prediction is that ecTheovide's going to rip this apart. Then again, I'm not a pro player.
I didn't see, like I said before, Person didn't play any Terran vs. Terran. I did see ecTheovide play Terran vs. Terran. It did look pretty good, winning 2-0 before in the quarterfinals. So I'm expecting him to do the same. Whether that happened or not, I don't really know.
I don't know. Now, the last match we saw GöranPersson play, he actually did. That was versus the last Protoss, and he did twice in a row. He did Proxy Marauder Rush, which kind of shows that he doesn't want to take this to the late game. He doesn't want to let people finish up on their plans, actually. He wants to catch them off guard, and he wants to do something weird to pull them off. So
we'll see if he can do it, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's introduce the players, shall we? Let's jump straight into the game, shall we? We're in here, and I'm going to start off with grabbing... I'm going to grab the top left one, because that's the one that needs Swedish pronunciation, and you can have the other one. So up here in the top left corner, we have our blue Terran player. Give it up for GöranPersson.
Excellent.
Yes.
Swedish accent you got there.
Thank you. I've been working on that, actually. And he's computer science, computer and electrical sciences. So he's the kind of guy that would be playing this game.
That's electronic.
You need to work on that, man. And you also need to introduce the other player.
And here's the other guy down at the south. This is, of course, the easy name, ecTheovide.
Bam! There it is.
Engineer and Milieu.
Yes. Energy and environment. Thank you.
Thanks for the translation.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm like Google Translate here. Actually, I'll be your Google Translate if you'll be my... Never mind. We'll just go into the game. So, what do you know? What do we know about these two players? What are we expecting? Talked about the Thorsane-esque type of play. What does that mean?
I mean, Thorsane-esque type of play is a specific build order where you do not make mistakes with it, and you nail executions. You nail your timings. You don't make minimal mistakes.
No.
In this game, we can already see that both players are looking towards one barracks command center. It's the most common build in Terran vs. Terran. Exactly. It's the most economy-friendly one. Nobody's looking to really open up this series with any sort of aggression, which will naturally, of course, push it into the later stages where that Thorsane-esque style can come out.
Exactly. And he's very very meticulous in pushing down on all fronts at the same time, just not doing any mistakes, not doing any rushed movements in that way, I'm guessing. What would you do in a Terran? Because to be honest, I haven't had the time, making this tournament, I haven't had the time to play the game as much as I'd like. during the last few weeks. So if you'd want to throw your opponent off with something cheesy in a TvT, what would you do?
Exactly what both of these players are doing is trying to at least hide information from each other, which is why the supply depot and the barracks are constructed in between both the bases.
Exactly.
Because neither of them can, or at least they initially started it that way, where they potentially hide what they were doing, because there could have been a 2 barracks, a 3 barracks, you know, anything off one base behind it. Yeah, so the mind game's initially coming into this, and then from there the game will develop. As we see, one player down here is not taking gas, and the other one is.
Yeah, so 2 gases, what does that mean? What's it going to go into? I'm guessing, there's going to be a factory popping down soon, but what's it going to go into? What's viable in TvT?
When you take 2 gases this early on, because you don't have that many SCVs, so when you dedicate 6 SCVs, because you need 3 to saturate per refinery, that's a lot of gas income for this stage of the game.
Exactly.
Therefore, what are you really going to spend that gas in? Like you said, factory has to come down. That's the gas needed. And then starport usually to follow. And with the amount of gas that you take, most likely Cloak Banshee to come from this. There are a couple of other variations, like early tanks or something along those lines. But you also want to, as a mech player, you love to be passive, but at the same time, you have units that are specifically designed to harass, such as Cloak Banshee.
Exactly. So most probably we're going to see some sort of Banshee play coming out of GöranPersson here. How viable is that? We got no gas so far. The first gas coming down as I speak for ecTheovide down here. And what's ecTheovide going to do? He's got 3 barracks lined up here.
Yeah, so it's just a classic bio, which is Marine Marauders versus mech, by the sounds of it and looks of it so far. Which is actually quite a classic scenario within this matchup, within Terran versus Terran. There's 2 different styles. There's the bio or mech. Usually you see one facing off exactly the same as the other, very similar, bio versus bio or mech versus mech. But then you have this clash where you have mech versus bio. So ecTheovide's going to be concentrated much more on being aggressive in this game. He's not the player that's being passive. He will want to be aggressive, will want to get drops down, will want to expand rapidly, will want to upgrade fast as well, because he's the one controlling the game now with the decision to play this style.
That's true, And with the mech style, of course, it'll take a while before it actually kicks in. So what would you like him to see him doing from here? Would you like to see an early push, or would you like to see more of an economical side of it?
So we see Hellions being made together already with or not necessarily Cloak Banshee, but most likely a Cloak Banshee. With Hellions being made already, this can be very dangerous if there's not a bunker, for example, placed down on the natural, because Hellions roast Marines combined with Banshees, that's pretty dangerous. But we actually see a medevac coming out to begin with by the looks of it, and then he's going to switch his barracks up. So he could use these initiate Hellions to get into the middle line, to hurt his opponent nice and early, therefore he can take an advantage going into the next part of this game.
Exactly. So, medevac's coming out, and we got the combat shield upgrades here for
very defensive combat shield.
Very defensive. Yeah, exactly. Very defensive combat shield, and he's got that one bunker actually lining up for that one entrance to the natural, but. Does he need? Yeah, he's got his supplies post up to the main, and he actually turned all of his Marines around. Is he expecting a Banshee come?
Yeah, he's definitely expecting something along these lines here. He hasn't necessarily scouted anything, but a bunker with 4 Marines in pretty much defends against any early sort of harassment from Terran at the front. The rest of Marines can go in the back. We'll see if he can defend against this, because if this does a lot of damage, the game could necessarily be over already.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually. That's very much so. Yeah, and there's a bunker as well here for GöranPersson on this side. And there's a cloak. You're talking about the Banshees coming out. We have the infinite weapons level 1 coming up for ecTheovide. And here are the here's a drop of Hellions down in the mineral line, and he actually managed to roast a few of these SCVs. Not many though. He has a 3-kill SCV. Managed to kill 3 of these SCVs and got one of them down, and didn't get out there with too much damage done really. So a nice hold.
Yeah, I mean, a decent hold. It's still okay here with the 3 SCVs damaged, because it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, it's
not the best, but it's better than nothing, and he didn't lose the other 2, and he kept the medevac alive, which he can use again later on, can use the Hellions for defense. But now the second wave's coming, which is the Banshee, the Cloak Banshee as well.
Exactly.
So in combination with Hellions can be very dangerous, but...
Oh, he's going to lose that medevac, actually. No, he didn't. He managed to do that. There was no actual focus from ecTheovide there on the medevac. So when the Hellions dropped, he managed to take those out. But the medevac would have been a nice bonus as well.
But that's 4 Hellions now for 3 SCVs. He's just given those 2 Hellions away, so now it's not as good as it was before when he had those 2 Hellions alive. The Banshees haven't done anything either in this game yet. So, to be honest, we're seeing ecTheovide here with a lockdown build. He's very tightly defended, and he has +1 near completion. He has Stim on the way, and can very shortly start to put the pressure back onto his opponent when these upgrades finish.
Exactly, and that's pretty much ecTheovide's trademark. It's been all throughout the tournament. He's very good at locking down any type of extra drops, any type of extra strange type of aggression, and he's very nice. He has a very nice map control. He likes to watch the minimap all the time. He knows everything that's coming. So the point is, yeah, if he wouldn't have picked out that medivac, then in that case, yeah, there could have been some damage done with the Banshee combined with another drop with those Hellions, but that pretty much locks it down. And with that, the GöranPersson has pretty much lost the map control he had, has he?
Yes, he has, unfortunately. Well, he's got a couple of units spread around, but as a Terran player, you are playing passive. That was the start of the game where before the bio player builds up defense, builds up an army, you can get in there and do something. But now that opportunity's gone. And we see now ecTheovide moving across with Stim halfway through. It's not really going to be completed anytime soon. So I'm not expecting damage to be done here. But like you said, he has map control now. He is able to take a third base relatively early and can start to try to drop maybe. I don't think a frontal attack would be wise here against a mech player with siege tank. No. But definitely looking to abuse the fact that there are no missile turrets, there are no Vikings, there's nothing to protect the back base.
Exactly. There's four tanks here on the front lines of GöranPersson, and he's moving those out a little bit. He also has those Vikings to take down many medivacs as well. And as you stated, Stim is not even completed yet. And ecTheovide seems to be looking for timing, though. Oh, he's moving in with 2 medivacs. He's dropping off some Marines here. Is he going to be able to do enough damage?
Yeah, he definitely wants to bring down these armories, if anything, here. SCVs is good, too, but armories will slow the game down completely. Right now, not really doing much of anything at the moment.
No.
But what's he going to really get? And that's not the most successful drop there, because
no, not really.
The Marines didn't really do any. They did a lot of damage spread across everywhere, but they didn't specifically target anything.
No, I'm just going to lose that medivac as well here, the last one as well. Yeah, as you were talking about, there was a bad focus of him there as well. I think the nerves are playing in here. He could have focused down those armors. As you stated, those are key buildings for a mech player, of course. You want to upgrade for your mech. So he could have focused down those down, but there was as well a pretty quick response from GöranPersson, pulling all of his troops and managing to take that out with Bluefin Hellions.
But if he manages to bring this command center down, that could be really big. I'm very surprised it's not being lifted. And as you said, nerves play a big factor when you're playing on stage. And that command center does get lifted at the last minute, and he will have to keep that alive. His units do come in to defend it. Yeah,
and that was a nice hold by GöranPersson. He quickly took those out, and as I stated, I'm thinking the nerves are really taking into ecTheovide right now, because he's usually a lot better in handling that. And he did manage to do a lot of damage on it, but he, as you stated, didn't take it down. As a Terran player, you just repair it and you're up and running again.
But I mean, we're giving a lot of praise to ecTheovide with his activity in this game, but he still does not have a third command center down. This is actually rather important here. He needs to be keeping up with the economy over a player who's playing passive. If an opponent's playing passive, he should be expanding. He can't do anything to you.
No.
He's picking off a couple of free Hellions there, and he's going to attempt this third again. It was brought down before initially by a Banshee, which is very nice there by Person, but well, the game continues on.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to have enough here to really push, because for GöranPersson, things are starting to kick in, and he has a siege tank there. He has 2 Banshees waiting to be able to hold that enough for reinforcements to come. So I think it's going to be hard. And as you stated, yeah, I'm thinking ecTheovide is feeling the pressure here, not only the nerves, but the pressure of a mech player kicking in soon. And it really feels like he thinks that he needs to do something.
Yeah, I mean, the mech player, to be honest, in this game really hasn't taken that much damage at all. I haven't really seen anything gone down. He's lost a couple of units here defending, but overall he's taken nothing. Right now, maybe something can happen here for ecTheovide. Does siege up in a good location, does get a couple of units in there to kill SCVs, and that's actually probably the biggest blow here for the mech player in this game.
Yeah, he's losing a few SCVs actually with this this attack here on the third base by ecTheovide. At the same time, ecTheovide is not even finished his third yet. He's got distance mining SCVs there as well, so he knows that he's a bit behind in the economical state here. And he didn't manage to do enough damage there, though. Many workers has he killed? Well, he has killed 26 workers, all in all. That is a considerable number, but on the other hand, the mech is about to kick in pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, he's almost locked down now. He's had enough time to build enough units where he's covering all 3 bases now, and it's going to be very difficult for ecTheovide to do these small little attacks. Probably impossible at this stage unless he finds a weakness area. He does have 2-2 on the way, though, as we can see on screen, which is very good compared to only just plating that's just a second finish, and that +1 vehicle attacks was never researched. That was another mistake here, which now means that the bio is a lot stronger in a heads-up fight when tanks are obviously unsieged.
Very much so. What did you think with +2? And actually, GöranPersson is pretty much evacuating his third base here for some reason. No, we figured out, and the tanks got sieged up, so he's going to be able to do a little bit of damage, but the force defending this is so huge. Was this the last opportunity for ecTheovide to do enough damage?
Yes, this is probably the last attack, unless there's units out of position, such as on the natural now. These tanks are not sieged up, and this is a crucial mistake once again, and that's going to allow ecTheovide to break in, pick off a tank, pick off a Helen, potentially get in there well, but these are very small amounts of units, so he's not doing massive amounts of damage, but throughout the game, lots of small pockets of units. 32 SCVs have been destroyed, and that's really hurting the income here for Persson.
Yeah, it actually hurting the income in that way, since ecTheovide hasn't lost as many, then, you know, on a base he's not... The problem is this is quite soon moving into a bit of a late game state, so the point is this just survives the middle possible potential for any counterattacks by GöranPersson. In that case, he has all the chances in the world to take this game.
Exactly. If he can get, with his mech army, up to 200 supply with good upgrades, he absolutely can still win this game. But he is taking a lot of damage in a very shaky, turbulence area at the moment in this mid stages. But the faster he locks it down, which he could have done a lot earlier on, the better it becomes for him. Because now, as we saw there, that his income is now at the same as ecTheovide's. It now is stabilizing for him. And if he can keep this up, keep building units and get these upgrades out, he can absolutely take a fight. The one thing that I think that's missing from his army is a Raven. Like, point defense drone against Marauders is absolutely fantastic, but as we can see in the production tab, is we already see a fusion core coming down from the bio player. He's saying, yes, you have lockdown, I can't get to you anymore. So let's go battle cruisers.
Excellent. Exactly. And he has a lot of Vikings here as well. Let's see. So he's going to take it to the air. What's the armor composition he's going for with this?
Oh, it's absolutely Vikings battle cruisers.
Yes, absolutely Vikings. That's as simple as it is. How many battle cruisers?
There's not that many anti-air. There's a couple of Vikings, sure, but there's no Thors in there. And as long as the transition can complete, ecTheovide's going to have a massive advantage. But Persson's getting a little bit, eager here. Yeah,
ecTheovide is getting a little too eager with his Vikings, though. He ran into a slightly bigger count of Vikings, but he's got some nice reinforcements coming in here. So actually now with the air superiority taking out the Vikings of GöranPersson, he's forcing him to move back with all of his huge army. And the point is, there's a lot of tanks here, but how much are those going to help?
Yeah, the tanks, once the battle cruisers come out, not going to help out at all. And to be honest, the scouting has not revealed that at all. He has no idea about this switch, so that's going to be very, very dangerous. He is making Thors and Vikings at the moment, but we do have a bit of an attack on this right-hand side.
There is one, and actually for this time I think he's going to be quite easily be able to take out that expansion, of course, and he did, and he's going to be able to take out a bunch of workers as well, but he's going to lose a large part of his army, I think. No, not too much.
Banshees have made their way into the tank line as well, because the air superiority here.
Exactly.
This has just crumbled and gone terribly bad here. Losing that third base means there's no money for him to actually react to the battle cruisers.
No.
And now Banshees are bringing down the tank count as well. This is really disastrous. ecTheovide's taking a massive lead here.
Yeah, I think so too as well. Now GöranPersson on the other hand, he get his Thors out, so he managed to thwart these Banshees off. So that's a little something because, as you stated, with air superiority, there wasn't much he could do with Banshee Vikings just hanging all over his tanks. But with these Thors, how much do Thors help against battle cruisers?
Not a lot. No. Not a lot, unfortunately. They do have 2-2 upgrades. And the battle cruisers won't have anything.
No,
they have no upgrades. But I mean, they have +1. That's all they're going to have. But the Thors, it doesn't matter. Even at 2-2. And it looks like a last-ditch effort now is coming out from the mech player. SCVs with the army. This is it.
Everything. This is a large push. This is the last we're going to see of it. And he's moving down. Which base is he going for? Is he going for the third, the second? What do you think?
He's just going for the kill.
He's just going for the kill.
Straight for the heart.
Straight for the heart. Main base. All the infrastructure. That's taking it down. Here we go. In here with the position, sieging up the tanks behind. All of the ecTheovide is pulling everything he has, SCVs and everything, but there's so many tanks in behind here, so everything is basically put down, and I don't really know what he could come back with after this.
Well, I mean, ecTheovide right now is going for a counterattack on the natural. He's saying, all right, if this is it. This is 100% all you've got left, because I'm going to kill everything at home anyway. And all you need to do now is just buy some time, get some battle cruisers out, and then he's going to win the game, because battle cruisers will bring down these Thors, which we're seeing already happening here, but he doesn't really want to send them in one at one here, or at least one at a time. Wants to try to build them together, because Thors, 3 Thors, yes, they will bring a fight to a battle cruiser, but as you can see, in a one-on-one situation, the battle cruisers are a lot stronger than Thors, anti-air versus ground.
Exactly, and there's a few more battle cruisers popping here. We'll hope for them to be able to pop before the time runs out, and this battle cruiser is just barely going to lose the fight to the Thor, and the point is, yeah, if you take out all the Thors, you have free reign to kill the rest of the army. And meanwhile, he's taking out the whole base of GöranPersson. There's so many red units all into here, but they're doing so much damage because there's nothing to actually counter them with.
One battle cruiser to win the game. One's going to pop out, and that's probably the only one he'll have out, but there's nothing else.
There's nothing else.
There's
exactly.
No anti-air.
So that's it, do you think? Yeah, GG, well played comes from GöranPersson. He sees the battle cruiser pop, and there it is, the nice base trade. I mean, look at ecTheovide. He's really feeling the pressure here if you take a look at this webcam.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not the most confident player in the tournament, but then on the other hand, I think he should be a lot more confident. He has a lot very nice mechanics, depending on, looking at the level we're playing at, actually.
I mean, winning the first game of a best-of-5 is always going to be a confidence boost, no matter which way you look at it.
Very much so.
And that's going to help him go into game number 2, and hopefully you can pick up a game in number 2 and then take it to the third game. But now the real question, every single tournament I've ever been to, how does the player that's lost react? Is he now shaking? Is he, getting nervous, more nervous because he's lost the first game? Or has it made him stronger? There's a lot of players out there that feed off that kind of anger of losing the first game and become stronger for the rest of the series.
Yeah, exactly. And we haven't seen too much of that from GöranPersson. He's been a little off shaken. As stated, he only plays for about 4 games a week. So he really feels like his mechanics are off. And you can tell that because he doesn't like to take it into a macro game. He did for once, which was nice.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, how's he going to react now? We've been seeing Cheese a lot during the earlier games. I'm thinking he's going to grab something out of, pull something out of his hat.
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at his player profile initially, like Siege Tank, so it's kind of a little bit obvious that he was going to play mech in this series. But like you said, if he's going to cheese, then game 2. I'm not sure if it's right, because if it doesn't work, then he's now 0-2 and he's got a very big uphill battle. So he may want to play normal again here if he feels, because I think, to be honest, that though there were mistakes in that game, he absolutely could have had an equal, if not won that game, if these mistakes were not there. So, to be honest, cheesing in the next game, being super aggressive is not the right thing to do, I don't believe. I think try again, correct your own mistakes, and then if it doesn't work, then maybe cheese in the third game.
Yeah. Do you? What do you think about an economical cheese?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
3 CCs, man, maybe 4.
Anytime. You have throwdowns all across the whole map. Let's see. It wants you to tab in, man.
Oh,
yes,
sorry.
To tab in the game. You really should be working.
I'm sorry, I told you this is only a couple of times.
You haven't done this. Drink your beer and whatever. Actually, we're going to prop these this one as well. Harding already showed this one. It's called Hardcore, and it's THS, the student union here. They're actually making this themselves, which is awesome. And it's going to they're going to start selling it at Systembolaget, which is the system where you purchase everything here in Sweden. Yes, all of the liquor problem, no problem, we fix from here. And they're going to start, and they're going to selling this. So I really recommend this. I opened one because, And of course, I'm going to bring out the obvious here. Thank you for being here. It's so much fun to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's so much fun. Yeah, it's so much fun that you've been watching the games.
Yeah, I've been watching all day and yesterday too.
It's been so much fun, and we had some awesome. You tweeted our trailer. We were very happy about that.
It's a good, cool trailer.
Yes, it's a cool trailer. Dun, dun, dun. I wrote the lyrics.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I'm the man.
Good work, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Good work.
Actually, yeah, and of course, thank you Too Good for coming in here, sitting down, and on the fly trying to interview people you know absolutely nothing about. It's so much fun to have you here.
What he's best at.
That's what he does for a living. Anyway, we want to throw ourselves into game number 2. So let's go right in here, and I'm going to start by introducing the player on the top right. I'm gonna grab one more. No, actually, I'm gonna take the lower left one. So you get to introduce the one with the Swedish name.
You don't want to hear me do that one.
Yeah, I want to hear you do that one. So I'm going to grab down here in the lower left corner. We have ecTheovide, the man, the myth, the legend from what school again? Can you read that?
KTH.
KTH. Yes. Energy and Media.
Just a couple of letters.
Yeah, it's just a couple of letters. 3 of them actually, to be more precise. Energy and environment, and he's looking as focused as ever. I mean, this is his spot. This is what he wants to do, basically. And would you grab the second introduction, please? Go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Do it.
All right, up here at the top right on Daybreak, the blue Terran. Unfortunately, he's 0-1 in this game, looking for a comeback.
Yeah.
This guy.
I'm waiting for it.
His name is GöranPersson.
Yeah! Bam! That was really good, actually.
Thanks, man.
That was really good.
There you go.
You got it all right, man. And look at him. He's shaking. If you take a look at his player cam.
He probably just heard my pronunciation of his name. He's like,
It's like, no, he should be proud. He would have been happy. If he would have heard your pronunciation, he would have been smiling. No, he would have been. You did it so well, my friend.
thank you. There's no cheese, though.
No, there's no cheese, though.
Well,
What do we? What do you think about that? I think it's like a lot of fun. I want to see some good games between these two guys because say whatever you want about the last game, but it was pretty even, right?
yeah. I mean, like I said, there were mistakes which held him back, but overall it was solid. It was pretty good mech play.
Yeah.
He did the right things, was harassing at the right time in the early stages before mech become mech.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not quite mech at that stage of the game.
No, exactly.
And he played it really well, but there was holes in his play. The third was, a little bit naked. His main base was naked despite not taking damage. Against maybe a better player, he would have lost those arms.
It would have lost those arms. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that match to show you the mark of a really, really good player when you start to fill in all of those small gaps. Unfortunately, though, for ecTheovide, he was. Yeah, I'm thinking the nerves got to him a little. He didn't have really the focus to find these holes and poke, and he did try to poke so much from all the different angles, but he never had the chance to do enough damage with them. So a double refinery coming down here as well from GöranPersson. So mech.
Yes, potentially.
Yes, potentially.
Not necessarily, but definitely potentially. But look, on the other hand here, ecTheovide hasn't got a command center, unlike his opponent here.
Yeah.
And he's gone for a very fast factory, very fast double gas, compared to person who has gone for the command center early and then double gas. So exactly the same build here once again, but much, much faster for ecTheovide, who could theoretically be looking at a Cloak Banshee himself.
Yeah. So Cloak Banshee, you think that's the type of push we're expecting?
Cloak Banshee is maybe Cloak Banshee into an expansion play is very possible here from ecTheovide. The other options are tanks, Marine, Vikings push, like a 1-1-1 style of push here.
Exactly.
But yeah, so it is actually a tank being made.
How would a 1-1-1 actually hold against GöranPersson right now? He's taking his natural quite quickly.
To be honest, when going gas, it's a little bit more difficult. I feel it is better to play bio against it to get your own siege tanks out as fast as possible while defending with Marines and bunkers. But it's not difficult at the same time. It's as long as he knows how to do it, as long as he's played against it before, this could be a nice hold. It's definitely going to be a very aggressive play from ecTheovide. Tanks, Marines, Vikings for vision to extend or give range to the SCVs, to the tanks. And on the other hand, though, we have. I definitely don't want to see a starport here from Person. The best thing against this is to get tanks out like that, instantly. And if he gets his own tanks out here, then he's going to be able to have the defense, because what a tank's going to break if there's already tanks defending. I think that's going to be the best way to fight against this. He has more economy. He will have better production overall once the economy kicks in. So as long as he nails this defense down, I think he's in good shape. Yeah,
and we have the first tank here for ecTheovide moving right across, and the siege tank is about to finish. So this is quite an early push, actually, and there's no real defense from GöranPersson.
All he has to do is repair this bunker. Keep that bunker alive. If the bunker fails, then the command center on the natural will fall as well. So he has to keep this alive. It's very, very important. If not, like I said, he loses his natural. And if he does keep that bunker alive, keep on repairing it, then he'll have tanks of his own. And what does it matter if that tank's there, if he's still able to mine on 2 base compared to 1? It doesn't matter at all.
No, exactly.
Contain as long as he wants to, as long as Person here can continue to mine from his natural.
Yeah, very much so. What do you think? Should he be running in with these Marines to actually take out? Because this bunker is the last. This is the hole. This is what he wants to break, pretty much.
He doesn't have enough at the moment. It's a very early push. He's going to edge closer and closer to make sure the tank gets there.
Yeah.
Even that tank now covers the high ground corner of the main base. So if any tanks try to go on the corner there, which we can see just at the top of the screen, that's also going to affect. He can't lose his bunker. It's going to be very difficult. He wants to repair it, if not build another bunker behind it, and he needs to get down repairing it. He does have a tank and a Viking of his own here.
Yeah, he has actually. He has a Viking, and this Viking has more health than the other one has. Of course, ecTheovide has something to repair this with. But then on the other hand, the same as GöranPersson. So these Vikings are going to play a very important role in this.
And that's actually losing that bunker now gives the option for ecTheovide to get closer to the natural. That's actually kind of crucial that the bunker's gone. Look now, he edges the second tank closer, and then he can bunny hop and get closer again. And now the command center, the key point of holding this is to keep that command center mining. But now it's under damage.
Yes, it's a bad move moving in the Marines and getting those. And this bunker, this offensive bunker, is going to be able to be taken down. And actually, he loses the Viking as well. So with this, he's pretty much lost all the leverage he's had. He can take some pot shots to that orbital command, but he's not going to be able to take it out.
Exactly. He's got his toes in the water, but he can't get his entire body in there at the moment. And that's what the tanks and Vikings on Person need to do. Get rid of that medivac, shoot it down, and then edge your tanks forward. Deny the range that the Vikings provide as a turn player looking to edge forward with tanks. And if he can do that and hold his natural, he's still in the game.
Yeah, he can. And from ecTheovide, actually, we're seeing a lot of weird mistakes. I haven't seen him do this many mistakes. He's had a few strange rallies. The Viking was all the way in there. The Medivac was all the way in there. He had nothing to do in there, absolutely whatsoever. And he's trying to do as much as he can with this. He's trying to take out a few SCVs to supply the pole, a little something. But with this siege line, the siege line of GöranPersson behind here, and quite soon, I'm thinking, yeah, he's going to just break this.
And you wouldn't believe it, but it's 10 minutes into the game now.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much 6 minutes worth of double mules compared to ecTheovide, who's only been on one command center. And now it's like, holy crap, man, that really didn't work.
Yes, exactly.
Retreat and go home to another command center.
Yeah.
And for Persson, now, the best time, to be honest, go take a third base. There's absolutely nothing that ecTheovide can do. And as long as he starts to do at least something to give him a bigger edge, take double gases, you know, throw down double engineering bay.
Exactly.
Because you don't need any more army. You don't need to build any army. You just need to increase your lead in this point of the game.
Exactly. When you're ahead, get more ahead. Some wise person said that at one point in the history of StarCraft. And yeah, this is basically a panic second command center coming up. It's not even finished yet, and he's just trying to hold his ramp here, setting up a defense with these siege tanks. And yeah, he's going to be immobile for quite some while here.
Yeah, and considering the amount of tanks that Persson's had building throughout this game, he's already at 4, he's got a 5th one on the way. Yep. There are 5 tanks back at home for ecTheovide, so despite that amount of units that we could see move across, he's not really going to break that natural anytime soon, which is why the better option is to take a third double engineering bay. We already see double engineering bay on the way, which is very good for him in this game to upgrade faster, to become stronger. The next key part of this game is for him to take a third base, and then it would all be complete, and he'd be looking to draw up this series. He's already got a 30 supply lead in this game. Yeah,
exactly. So this push, what do you think about it? What's the point?
It would be better with Medivacs, let me say that, because you're not going to break the natural, and you'd much prefer to get into the main base or something along those lines, because the natural's not going to be broken anytime soon. So
in any way, there's so many tanks there.
He can, with this army though, he can prevent a third being taken easily for ecTheovide. You know, camp tanks on the Zelnoga tower, a couple of tanks there, then go around to the third and contain that. But what happens is you can't subtle to drops. You can get drop behind because your unit's out in the front, which is the weakness of some form of contain.
Yeah, and he only has one missile turret coming up here in the main, actually. So if there was any type of drops right now, they would do ridiculous amounts of damage. So he's actually bared pretty much his whole base. And he has a scouting marine here to figure out if the third is taken. And yeah, he's basically a control move. Yeah, he wants to stay out here with Zelnoga tower, knowing what ecTheovide is going to do, and he wants to see if the third is coming down and so forth. But yeah. Actually, yeah, there's quite a mistake in leaving himself that open in this way.
Yeah, definitely. And well, ecTheovide now has to try to think about how to break this game. He doesn't know if his opponent's taken a third. He doesn't know what's going on behind it. He knows that he's most likely contained for the time being. But now he's got to think of a plan to break this. What is he going to do? He already has a third command center coming down, so he will look to take a third soon enough. But at this point of the game, he's definitely losing.
He's on the back foot with this. And finally, we see a Medivac here full of Marines going out. And actually, if GöranPersson doesn't know how much...
he's got 2 turrets in his main base.
Yeah, and that's really not going to be enough to hold this drop. And he has no actual units waiting for him.
But look at this at the same time. 3 Medivacs full of Vikings into
the Vikings, and then they're going to be able to take one out?
That could have been massive if those Marines got in there, because there is nothing at home. Neither of these players have major defenses inside the main base, and those Vikings just saved ecTheovide from potentially just falling flat in his face and out of this game.
Very much so. It was very lucky for him, actually, or lucky or whatever. He actually positioned them now to be able to ward off any Medivac drops. But those 3 Medivacs there, they would have been doing insane amounts of damage. But here's the 1 Medivac for ecTheovide. Well, actually, just as I said that, he stopped.
Yeah, he definitely wants to get in there, right?
He needs a lunch break, man. He's not a top-tier player.
Got to have lunch breaks to fuel that power, but he's going to go in, he's going to run into a turret. This is the wrong way to go in here, and, well, is he going to be able to pull this back in time? Is he going to be able to drop?
It's not going to let him got 1 Marine down.
Well, the SCVs will bring that down that
ecTheovide, man, dude, you're so much better than this, actually. Pick it up, man. You got this covered. Well, yeah, that didn't do anything. And in this case, if it did anything, then I think GöranPersson spotted this and figured that, oh, I'm going to need some sort of defenses here now. So he's going to bolster up the defenses that would easy...
Yeah, and I mean, right now, at this point of the game, I'm very surprised the person does not have a third base. This is very, very surprising. He very easily could have taken a third and a fourth, and it's only just the second coming down.
Yeah, actually. And, yeah, what do you think? What should ecTheovide do in this position?
ecTheovide needs to take a third of his own, which he does have a command sense towards it. He's not in a dire position because I don't think that person's played out his advantage as well as he could have in this game, definitely.
You just need to break the control of GöranPersson, basically.
Take a third, man. Just chill out. And, you know, start dropping some more. At this stage of the game, just slowly take your third base, protect it with tanks, and then I drop at the south side with 2 medivacs, 1 or 2 medivacs, and with Marines, and try to bring down your opponent's third base while maintaining your own.
Exactly. And I'm thinking, the nerfs are getting to him a little more than they would have, and would have to, because in that place, as you stated, GöranPersson has really not used his advantage whatsoever. He's only halfway done with his third base, and actually, ecTheovide has one in place.
But person does have 2-2 about to finish. That's where his real advantage lies. He's got a great army size. He's got great upgrades as well, but a bit of a later third, unfortunately. And, well, these units are going to run in there, and 2 tanks just go down for free. Like I said, his army is trying to protect the third base, and unfortunately, there's a gap in the natural. There's a gap in the natural,
and it's a very immobile defense with all those tanks, actually. So it's going to be hard for him to do this, and there's a lot of units from GöranPersson just going in there and taking out the Overkill command. There's no repairing that will be enough, and there's medivacs here to support this. Is he going to be able to take these 2 out? Yeah, he's going to be able to take all of these units out. That's the 2-2 you were talking about. That really comes into play there.
Yeah, 2-2's now just kicked in, and his Marines are loving life.
Yep.
Especially after bringing down that command center. That's like winning the lottery here. That puts his opponent further behind than he already was, unfortunately. And now ecTheovide's like, well, this game is and has gone crap.
It is in that way. And oh my god, he's getting a lot of Marines caught there, but actually,
Marines.
Here we go, 2-2 Marines. They're just eating them up. No problem whatsoever. 3 fingers coming up. And with this, I'm thinking that ecTheovide is feeling like the game is over pretty much.
GG, and that ties the series up now, 1 apiece.
There we go. So,
good play.
Good play.
I mean, completely different style, which is what I really like to see from players. Is know, game 1 was mech, and then game 2 was a solid defense into bio, and that changing styles, considering he only plays 4 games a week.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's a very good play for 4 games a week type of player, and really, So I'm loving the play coming out of GöranPersson. I am, and I like the point with whatever you do, I can do just as well. So I'll match you up with the styles, and we'll see who's better macro-wise. And that's the fun part. He plays 4 games a week, and ecTheovide is playing a lot actually.
Really?
Yeah, it is. I'm thinking the nerves. It's the nerves. I think you heard that you're costing.
Yeah. I don't think
Sorry,
so.
no, you don't? So.
I don't think that's the case. But the next map of this best of 5 is going to be over to Ohana, which is a lot smaller, compact 2-base map, which is where, if any of the maps, a cheese could very well come in here. This is a very small map, proxy Marauder, proxy Starport as well.
Yeah. Is this the game to cheese? The 3rd game?
Yeah, for sure. Equal up. This is it. It's equal. You know, cheeky jab up there. Just
bam.
And then you win in 2-1.
I'm flying my barracks into your base.
Yeah.
I'm stealing your add-ons and stuff.
Yeah, I like this. I like it. I think it would be wise, but at the same time, there's always that risk factor when you decide to do something. So that's definitely the things that both of these players are thinking about. Am I going to do it? Is he going to do it? You know, do I scout more intelligently on this map? Do I go around these little pocket areas where stuff can be hidden? Do I wall off and look like I could be doing something? So there's a lot of intellectual mind games going into this, especially because it's the semifinals. It's just 1 game away from the Grand Finals.
This is where you go paranoid, man.
Yeah.
This is where you go paranoid, and first of all, you start making a lot of mistakes, and that happens to the pros. That happens to the good people, actually. And these guys, they're playing on a main stage that actually, well, this is our event. We didn't know it was going to be this big, but it's big. It's big. So this is where the nerves kick in, and you start to get a little paranoid. But, I'm thinking that GöranPersson seems to be the guy who doesn't crumble under pressure. He showed us that in this game as well.
He was 0-1 behind, and he pulled it back. You know, that was the question that I asked going into the second game is, we know that this guy may have and probably does have a confidence boost after winning 1-0, but what about the guy that's 0-1 down? Does he now just, completely fall flat on his face and go 0-3, or does he put a fight back? And he did, and now the series is drawn up. Momentum is swung in the other direction.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm thinking is that, GöranPersson pretty much is going to, I'm thinking he's going to play standard. I don't think that he's the one who's going to pull. But then again, on the other hand, he's done that in very strange situations in games earlier on. He knows that he's been able to show us that he can play a lot of different styles. He has a lot of extra. Yeah, he's got a lot of weird cards to just draw out of his hat.
And in a longer series, not so much the best of 3, but the best of 5, that's where his strength will really shine through. You know, he's going to be able to confuse his opponent with what's going on. We'll be able to bring out different styles, different builds, different options, and that in a best of 5. I think one of the main players that I've seen in the tournament scene that does this frequently is actually Grubby. Yep. Grubby does this a lot. We'll open up with 3 different styles, 3 different builds, you know, defensive, aggressive, and then normal. You know, just mixes it up, and that keeps your opponent guessing. It keeps him honest. He can't be greedy because he doesn't really know what's going on, and can really confuse and keep a player being overly safe. And I think that's really smart.
Pretty much, yeah. I think so as well. And I'm thinking that's exactly what GöranPersson is going for, because he knows ethTheovide is is a calculative player. He likes to play his own build. He likes to do it. He likes to do it well, and so forth. Yeah. And yeah, with changing up the styles, GöranPersson has shown that he has an advantage in that way, and he's done that many other games as well. Pulled little cheesy cards out of his hat. So I have absolutely no idea what to expect out of him, but I'm thinking that ethTheovide is going to play standard.
I think he should as well, because I'm pretty sure he kicked himself in the bum after that second game, saying, why did I try that? Because I won game 1 in his mind, you know, quite convincingly. So we'll see what happens in game number 3.
Yeah, and with that, let's go right into the game, actually. And you know what? Do you want me to be nice or cool?
Do whatever you want to do.
All right, so in that case, I'm going to introduce the lower right player, and that is our red Terran player, ecTheovide. KTH player as well as many of the other ones, and yeah, he's looking concerned as usual. He usually does that. He likes to focus on the games a lot, and of course that's the kind of players we like. So
yeah, up here of course is the blue Terran player. Was 0-1 and now 1-1. Of course is GöranPersson.
Yes, that was almost. It was a lot better last time.
Yeah, man, I put the crazy emphasis on the first time around, but I just kind of slacked on that one. But of course,
you did slack off a little bit, actually.
It's okay, he's playing fast.
It's not like we're paying you for this, so it's okay. You know. Yeah. So nothing strange so far. No weird cheeses to start it off with.
No, not at all. So it looks like both the players once again with their supply depot barracks, potential supply depot, looking to hide what they're doing. Yeah. And it looks like person here. Is he going to build a supply depot? Just what? So when you leave this early as a Terran player, this is relatively early. He really wants to get in there before he's hidden away from what's going on.
Exactly. Before that's all completing.
Yeah. Likewise for ethTheovide too.
Exactly. Both of these players really want to know what the other one's doing right now, because just as we said, this is the game to actually start switching things up and doing strange stuff. So they really want to get in there and get some scouting off. Do you think that any of these are actually going to release? Pop off the FCWs and start the supply depot before they get in there? I'm not sure. It doesn't look like one of them wants to do that.
Yeah, neither of them are interested. Oh, actually,
there's a supply depot coming up here, but it's not going to get done.
Yeah, it's the one from the barracks. It's the SCV from the barracks. So neither of them are real interested in doing that. Apart from the ethTheovide, who's like, nah, I'd prefer if you didn't build it there.
Yeah, exactly. He got a block off there. Not really actually going to do much about it, but still. And alright, there's SCV battles going on here, like mad. Both of them orbitals, and here we go, the expansion being taken for ethTheovide.
Yeah, so it looks like, you know, just similar openings, or exactly the same, should I say, openings is game number 1. This is one barracks command center. Difference here is that person did go for the second supply depot rather than the faster command center, therefore ethTheovide does have that little bit of a stronger economy, not by much, but just a little bit, give him a little bit of an edge here. But I'm really interested to see if person's going to take double gas again, which it seems to be a single and now double.
Exactly.
Maybe play mech. This is a very good mech map here, and it's not just a good mech map, it's good for different styles of mech, whether it be a 2-base push, whether it be a slower 3rd, 4th base style, longer game.
So you're thinking we're going to see both players just making it up here?
I'm not sure about ethTheovide if he will or not. I think he'll play probably the same as he did before, but he has taken double gases, so it may be just double gases, but the second barracks then added on. So definitely going to be the same as game 1. So it's going to be bio, but we could see person go mech here again.
I'm thinking we should see person go passion.
He loves text, man.
Yeah,
passion, person.
Yeah,
pushing.
Exactly. I'm trying to say passion here while you're saying person, so it's
sorry, man.
It's a little bit. No, it's
I'll
okay.
say passion.
No, you say passion. Yeah, passion of the player. I don't know. Yeah, just whatever you like. actually. We know which one you mean.
The blue guy.
The blue guy. The blue Terran. You can't say the Terran player either. It's annoying for you. I gave you a hard one to start off with.
It's okay.
It's okay.
A relatively fast factory here from ethTheovide. Did just see that being pointed out.
Yeah.
It just means a lot faster tanks or medivacs here. Most likely tanks this early on, because what you're going to use with medivacs before the upgrades are out. So we'll see what that's going to entail, what really he's trying to build from this. It could be a much faster third command center with tank defense. It could be building tanks early for a push. So there's a lot of different branches they can go down for sure.
That's true, and the factory here as well, the starport coming up from GöranPersson, and copper shields coming down for ecTheovide. Very defensive measure in that way.
And exactly the same opening for Pearson. Exactly, like it's mirrored. You know, the Hellions at the same time, most likely, if he wants to play exactly the same medivac and then into the Cloak Banshee. And we do see the tank production nice and early coming out here. From ecTheovide, and with tank production so early on, like, there's now a couple of branches he can go down towards, whether that be a faster third that helps the tanks help protect it, or the fact that he wants to build tank production really early on to look for a really strong push, including tanks with his Bioforce.
Yeah. So in this way, which players? Just assessment. How do you feel about these two players right now? Which one's ahead?
Neither of them are ahead at the moment. They're kind of developing their builds at the moment. Neither of them have taken significant blows or anything, and the builds way up against each other, relatively equal. It's just two different styles. But when we see the first blows coming out, potentially from a medivac, which I do not see coming, it's just a Viking, well, the starport is going to go over onto the reactor of all things. So very early Viking production here.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, I was definitely expecting Banshees, but he's actually opted to go for tanks early on.
Yeah.
So he's just going to keep the air superiority with tanks, and this could be, once again, a two-base push. But it's just, like I said, two different styles kind of joining together. Or not really joining together.
But clashing against each other, more likely, basically. And yeah, the siege tech is about finished pretty much for ecTheovide, and almost halfway through for GöranPersson. And we're looking to have a pretty long game here. We're going to see any thirds being taken about soon?
No, the way they're playing at the moment, they're playing relatively aggressive. You know, the tanks are there for ecTheovide to aid a push. And on the other hand, we have tank Viking off 3 factories being pushed out pretty early. As a mech player, you're never going to take a super fast third anyway. So it seems like they are being quite, aggressive at this stage. But these tank Marines, I'm not sure how much they're going to get done with siege tanks and Vikings, and with Erector on the starport too. And ecTheovide almost loses that first Viking.
Then he's going to lose it right now, actually. Yeah, those Marines are taking a lot of damage, actually, from the siege stack up here. And yeah, there's nothing ecTheovide can do with this, really. The bunker salvaged even, because, of course, he would probably lose that to some tank fire as well. And ecTheovide is back rallied down here to the Zelnaga tower, and the question is he going to try to force a push with this?
If he forces a push, he'll lose his units most likely, because, I mean, a tank with high ground vision, with Marines around it, it's going to be very difficult to break here. But he may attempt it.
He may attempt it, and I think, what I'd see him probably at least try to do is pick off a bunch of these units into the medivac and try to do a little something damage behind the lines, because there's a missile turret here in the main, but it's very far from the edge, so he could actually sneak in a bunch of Marines there.
That's exactly what he's going to do. He just loaded up a tank, surprisingly, with this. Looks like he's going to seize that tank up and then have the 4 Marines at the front. And like you said, it is relatively naked at the back.
It is. We have 2 Marines here patrolling the area, trying to figure out what's happening. So at least GöranPersson is going to know when this happens. But then again, he's going to have to pull a bunch of forces to actually deal with it in that way. He's going to easily be able to take out that medivac with the Vikings. But and here we go. He starts dropping these units off. He has the Marines down there taking out one of these, and he's going to siege up the tank. He's going to be able to try to take out a few SCVs here. Oh, he's going to start out with a missile turret.
And if he overcommits in the main base, remember, there are a lot of units on the low ground which could run up, but it looks like he's going to load into the main base.
Actually, he's trying to elevate units here. It's a little bit risky, because there's a lot of Hellions coming in here, and they're going to be able to do a lot of just actually pulling SCVs as well, but figured out that no, I'm not going to be needing those. Or am I? Oh, we managed just to take out the siege tank of GöranPersson, actually.
That's pretty big.
That's pretty big.
The mineral line, if he puts those Marines up north and just goes to the left here, he can get right into the mineral line, stop picking off all these SCVs. He just needs to kind of move them at this point. But
yeah,
at the same time,
wants to protect his tank, but there's nothing actually to take that tank out with. And oh, there's another siege tank here, and he's trying to be able to take that out, but he's not going to, because that siege tank is going to be able to kill all of the Marines, and now he only has a siege tank, and one medevac that's going to be killed by those Vikings.
Yeah, good attempt there by +Theovide, but unfortunately didn't manage to crack the armor completely there. You know, got in there, but he didn't nail it. But behind it, he does have a third command center.
Yep.
He does have the +1 finish and +1 armor on the way, so you know it's not the end of the world with that push not working. It's still a relatively equal game, actually.
Relatively equal game, and I'm thinking he did pretty much at least somewhat of what he wanted to do with that. But because the point is he wanted to delay that and be able to build his third command center. I think he should have taken that one as well behind it, shouldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. But I think that too. The one thing I'm missing from GöranPersson here is double armory at this point, because once you delay your upgrades this far, because he actually has, because he's built so many units, you obviously don't have upgrades, so you need to go double upgrades. It's not like you just go one, because by the time you complete with just one upgrade, then he's going to be at 1-1, looking at 2-2 most likely. So double armory has to come down very shortly, otherwise he's going to have a massive disadvantage when it comes to heads-up fights, which will give theovide an easier run in the middle stages.
Yeah, exactly, and that's going to need to happen. Yeah, theovide has got a pretty nice game plan here coming up for. He's got his third down and he's saturating it well. Actually, he's got his siege tank there in case. Well, there's not much support. There's not much defense really. He has turrets to take care of his main base. Well, at least for for any smaller types of drops. He doesn't. The third base is still quite naked, but he's got it all covered. There's a lot of units here tanking out the Salnaga Watchtower, and basically just wants to hold the map position here and keep the control.
Yeah, hold it. The tanks are crucial here for theovide because he does not have that many ground units for bio. Like, he has decent upgrades coming through, but he doesn't have a large amount of units. He has a couple of Marines, but they'll be killed easily by Helling tanks. So tanks are very important in holding the line, as you said, and not letting this line be broken down. Because if that line wasn't there, then these tanks just roll away over the room. He's actually going to try and break it.
Yes, everything coming in from GöranPersson. He's running in there. He's sieging up, and oh my god.
So many SCVs that have come with this. He's brought out absolutely everything.
And why? Well, he wanted to do that. Of course, now, all the Marines have been taken out, and these SCVs are just working as a meat shield, and perfectly worked out to be able to take all of that out. But the point is, how many SCVs did he lose? He's down 39 workers killed.
Granted, yes, he doesn't have upgrades. He's got a third command center, which blows my mind why he has that if he's going to put all his SCVs at once. But this is the decision he's made. He's trying to break this down. theovide being out in the open, I don't think it's the smartest thing to do.
He's moving out, and once again, there's a smaller fight here, and he loses the last part of his SCVs there, of course. And now the tanks are pretty much naked. He wanted those SCVs as meat shields, and he's running straight by the tank line, the Salnaga towers. He's going to try to be able to do some type of damage. He's just, sieging up in the middle here.
It's just like this is a really bad push here because he has to break multiple different ramps where tanks can be on the high ground at every single opportunity. And at the end of this push, he's lost 40 SCVs, he's lost all his Hellions, he's lost tanks, and now he only has 5 tanks, which is going to be easily cleaned up by just a handful of even all the SCVs, which he has 56 of, could probably just win this by themselves.
Exactly.
It's such an easy defense.
Such an easy defense. And I'm thinking, GöranPersson was just feeling the pressure. He felt like he was a lot more behind than he was. Or he just wanted to try to have those as meat shields. And here we go. There's a lot of SCVs coming in here as meat shields, and the rest of the units coming in there and cleaning that out. And oh my god, that's the game.
Yeah, good game. A crazy move there by...
absolutely crazy, insane move. He brought in way too many SCVs, and when he lost those, he figured, oh, I've lost all my SCVs. What do I do?
I know. It was just like... he said to himself, by the seams of it, like, all right, well, I don't have double upgrades. I kind of killed a lot of his units. He most likely has a third and upgrades on the way as well. Well, I'm just going to go for this, all-in, specific designed all-in. It's a win or a lose. And he went for it. Unfortunately, it didn't
fail.
work.
Yeah, some splitting of the SCVs would have probably helped him a little bit. I'm not sure. There was not that much. There was a few siege tanks, and they really did get a nice surround on the siege tanks, so the splitting wouldn't have helped too much either. He just didn't have enough meat, didn't have enough Marines to hold that.
The probability of that push working in that scenario 10 games in a row is probably like 2 to 3. It's very low percentage. That's why it's a massive risk to do so. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off for him, and now he is trailing 1 win to 2, and we'll have to see if he can make the comeback. He did it before in game number 2. Can he do it in game number 4?
It's a very good question, actually. And yeah, it seems like the pressure is taken to him. And that's... he seems like the person who's been able to always just step up to the game platter when stuff is happening. But yeah, it's interesting to see that even though there's been a lot of mistakes, obvious mistakes from ecTheovide's part, and he's noticed those. He's been able to take a little bit of advantage of those. But what would you have wanted him to do there? Would you have wanted him to stay back, not do the push?
Yeah, double armory, take the third base, chill out a little bit,
and try to
build. As you play mech, it's either go for a specific design 2-base push, as in go for it without the third command center, a lot less SCVs, or take a third, not really in the middle. But we'll see going into the next game, which is game number 4. Between these two guys.
Yep, let's jump right into the game, actually. And I'm going to just, for the sake of it, as we get in here, show us in here. I'm going to actually be nice to you, and I'm going to grab the introductions for our top player here. So in the top left corner, we have our blue Terran player. Give it up for GöranPersson, the man, the myth, the legend. And yeah, he's coming well here.
Yeah, I mean, that was a bit of a shaky decision there in that previous game. Absolutely was.
It was.
But his opponent now, who's just 1 win away from moving on to the Grand Finals, that is, of course, ecTheovide, down here in the bottom.
And he's looking happy, actually. He's looking a little more content than he usually does, because he looks so concerned. I'm always, I want to go in there and hug him. He
may have mentally broken his opponent after that game.
Absolutely.
So. I mean, with that kind of smile, he's like, "Whoa, that was a crazy move. And that's pretty good for me if he does something like that again." And if he is doing something pretty crazy. He's got a proxy barracks down. He has the refinery down. And as you mentioned, this is something he's done before.
This is something he's done.
We'll see how this is going to work for him.
I don't think it's going to work very well, because ecTheovide, in this case, in this position, I think he's pretty confident, knowing that GöranPersson has put his into this position, and he's seeing that it's affected him, clearly. And it's affected him big enough so that he'll have to do some type of cheese.
Yeah, and, well, what's this barracks doing? Where are you going? Oh, he's building a bunker early on, and that's just he's seeing the gas. He's like, there's no barracks there. Screw you. I'm actually just going to defend this and go to the finals. See you later.
It's a simple move for him.
It's very simple, and the bunker full of Marines, Marauders aren't going anywhere. They're not breaking this. They're not doing anything.
Nope.
And the thing is that he's seen it now. Up the ramp, with the SCV, he's seen the bunker. He's still building the Marauder. How is he realistically going to break this? And I think he's already thinking a step ahead. Second gas is down. I think we're going to see like a Cloak Banshee behind it or something. He won't dedicate to more than 1 to 2 Marauders.
No.
And, he's already looking for a transition.
He's looking for a transition because he's going to need one pretty much. That bunker's down, and he's not going to be able to break it. And he knows it.
Oh, look at this. He's actually going to put a factory there instead on the tech lab. And he's going to be building tanks very early. Yeah. He's going to contain his opponent very early. He may just use the barracks only for scouting vision instead of trying to get Vikings out. So the barracks will provide that the sight range for those tanks who have a larger range, firing range. They actually do vision range, and that's the way that he's going to try and do this. And well, that Marauder's like, oh well, kind of out myself here.
What's up, yo guys? No, I'm just looking. I'm just gonna leave. So. How well is he going to do this, actually? He's going to be able to do any type of damage with this? It's obvious a move from him figuring out that, no, I'm not going to be able to break that. I'm going to build my tanks. I'm going to put them up there. What's the percentage of success here?
It's difficult again, but it's much more possible to contain and expand behind than it is to push with SCVs on that third game that we just saw. Because if you think about it, look, there's double barracks down. The thing to defend against this kind of push, like I mentioned earlier, is fast tanks. There's double barracks down, there's double gas down. A lot later, we're not going to see tanks for a very long time in this game, and he's going to have to be using Marines and SCVs to defend against tanks here, which is going to be very difficult. And actually, ecTheovide, trying to get a bit more vision, does not know about it yet, but he very well do surely. If he actually gets in there before tanks come out with Marines, well, I guess he's already one out, so at least he knows about it now.
He knows pretty much about it, yeah. And actually that tank managed to take out a few of these Marines, and the last lone Marine is running back to base saying, there you go, tanks!
But he's about to lose the barracks.
Yep.
And
that
that's not going to
burn
give him the vision range, so he's going to have to build a Viking, and he has a limited amount of units as it is. But no, he is going to repair it.
Yeah, he's got SCVs coming in there to repair that. He starts off by repairing the tank, of course, and then, which is a nice idea. And the siege mode is about to finish here very, very shortly, and the second tank coming out. And there's a very short range there. There's a barracks coming down.
ecTheovide's going to try and break this now. He's bringing actually a few SCVs. He wants to get in there before the tanks get to a critical mass. The tank is actually unsieged, and he needs to siege up at least one of them for now, and he will. Well, I'm so
and he decides to he decides to go for the barracks. Is that a good move? He should just keep going, trying to take these tanks out.
This one tank is so low, and a really good micro here from Person. He needs to keep this alive. The second tank is not going to die either.
No, they're both very, very low, and he's been able to siege up now, and he has a Viking, which he landed and supported that with, and which is sieging outside of here. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage from here. With the Viking, he's got a nice vision range.
And a fourth barracks is added on. ecTheovide wanted to break that with SCVs and Marines. He's going to attempt it again. More SCVs are coming down. These two tanks are not repaired. A third tank is on the way. He may be able to break these two tanks up with the Viking there. It gives them a couple of extra shots than you would do usually.
Yeah.
And well, if that third tank comes in there, then this is going to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, he's waiting here with the Marines and the civvies, and now he's pulling them. This is the big decision. He's trying to split them up so the few that will be in the front.
Again.
He's unsieged and he's running away.
If he sieges up the third tank now and actually runs and plays and micros around,
he can micro around. He can do a lot of interesting damage with this. But no, it's the interesting part is that ecTheovide is not mining pretty much. Well, he has mules.
He's not at all. Yeah, that's probably the reason why he's running away. He's like, you're not mining.
Yeah, but on the other hand, well, still GöranPersson has one orbital command, and ecTheovide on the other hand has two.
Yeah.
So. What do you think about this? There's a lot of cat and mouse. GöranPersson, for some reason, is just kiting these units across the field back and forth.
Yeah, this is absolutely incredible. I mean, the tanks and Marines have exactly the same movement speed, so they're never going to catch up to one another. But now with 4 tanks, this becomes almost impossible to defend. He's not mining. Yeah. He's got a limited amount of units. There's 60 Marines, and now we're going to have supply depots. A random supply depot put there as well.
For some reason. I think it's there to screw up the AI. This is not, of course, not the top-notch play. So, you know, with the player feeling a little bit of pressure, that supply depot is going to...
Look at how many SCVs
set it up. Oh my god, he's losing the Vikings! Yeah, there's so many SCVs with this, and he needs to cancel that supply depot if he wants to. Well, no, he's not going to. He's going to let it be there. Manor depot. I don't know. And there's so many SCVs in here. He's got nothing mining. No mining
at this
whatsoever.
Stage with 5 tanks and a Viking, all he needs to do is keep his opponent from not mining. To be honest, he'd probably kill everything if all these stuff are sieged up.
Exactly, and they're moving in, but they're turning around. They're a little bit undecisive, and he's trying to split everything up as much as possible. They're still way too clumped, and he's losing so many workers. He's going to be able to take out these tanks, but the question is, he only has 3 Marines. What is 2 Marines back now? What is he going to be able to do with those?
And another tank's about to pop. He's got 7 SCVs back at home. And once again, from behind, it looks like Person's going to do it again.
Yep, and this guy is the comeback king of sorts, actually, throughout this tournament.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that, but every game he's been playing as well has been crazy, man.
It's incredible that this series has gone this way, and well, there's a tank of his own out now, and he's going to try and defend with that. But even if he breaks and holds his natural, he's 27 SCVs, or his opponent has 27 compared to 7.
Which is absolutely not going to get him anywhere at all. And the point is, what's going to be able to do this? GöranPersson is starting to leapfrogging. He's got another tank coming out. And he knows that there can't be that much defense.
Yeah, he knows. And there's SCVs coming as well to aid this for Person. And ecTheovide's trying to break out of it. I don't think it's going to be possible with the tank and SCVs behind as well.
Yeah, and it's brought out a whole bunch of SCVs here hanging around. And he only has 1 tank here left. But that's going to be enough because there's 1 tank for ecTheovide, actually, and a few Marines. And a Marauder.
Yeah, this is very difficult. ecTheovide is trying to break out of this as much as possible. Does have stim now, but those SCVs will repair the tank and keep it alive. He does break it.
And there's the GG right there, yeah.
Yeah, and look at that. He does do it. He does break out very surprisingly once stim was all done. But to be honest, I don't think that that was meant to go the way it went like that.
I really don't.
27 SCVs to 7. Yeah. Yes, he had a second orbital, but...
I'm thinking that was very premature.
Yeah, either way, GG is done. ecTheovide takes it 3-1 there after breaking a couple of siege tanks there.
Yeah, there we go. That was a very intense game, the last one, and I'm thinking the point was that there was so much pressure from both of the players, and actually, we're gonna jump straight into the interview.
Yes, thank you guys. So we have our first finalist, ecTheovide, and you were just casted by Apollo. How does that feel?
Feels just amazing. I'm so happy right now.
So that last game, you were chasing each other over the map. What was that?
Well, I don't know really. He did some heavy all-inning, and I didn't know how all-in he was, so I had 5 SCVs. I didn't feel very well, but it turned out he was very all-in, and I got stim, so...
Was it a bit of nerves as well? This whole chasing each other back and forth?
What?
Was it a bit of a nerves as well, like chasing about it?
No, actually, I really got into the games, and I managed to, like, get my nerves away. I was nervous, like, the first game a lot, but after that it was fine.
So I've noticed you have lost one map through this entire tournament, and you've been playing very macro heavy all the time.
Yes.
And the one game you did lose, you did not play as much macro.
Yeah.
Is this a connection or is it a coincidence?
It's probably a connection. I tried a really, really old build because I wanted to try to surprise him. Like, shout out to Trump, by the way. He used to do that build. I stole it from him. SE2 player that stopped playing SE2 like age ago. But I tried that. I used to play it, so I knew the build order, but I didn't remember how to deny scouting, it seems, so it didn't work out at all.
In the second game, it was a really intense spot in the end. What were you thinking right before your second Battlecruiser came out?
Well, I actually thought I had that game because I saw he only had one tour with little HP, and he focused my star port, but I had another one, and he didn't seem to notice, so I was like, okay, that guy is gonna pop, and I think I have it by then. And I also had a planetary fortress. I think it was a planetary fortress with new star ports on the way, so I'm not sure if it was an orbital or planetary, but I think it was a planetary.
Okay. So, who would you rather play in a finals, the Comeback King Njal or Queen of Blade Medalisk?
I mean, in one way, it would be maybe more epic to play Medalisk, because she's more famous, of course. But if I want to win, I probably want to hope Njal wins, because I'm not good against Zerg, and yeah, I don't think I can beat Medalisk, but I think I have a chance against Njal. Of course, he's also really good. He's shown this today.
Yes, good answer. Everybody, our first finalist. Good. We are going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with a second semi-final, so don't go anywhere.